U.S. congressman believes UFOs may be piloted by humans from the future. What if UFOs are humans from the future who have traveled back in time? There has been a considerable amount of press coverage following the outstanding performance of Republican Senator Mike Gallagher at congressional UFO hearing, where he managed to annoy Pentagon officials with his questions on WAP. Speaking about the origin of the UFOs, Gallagher has suggested an interesting alternative to the alien theory of UFOs. WAPs detected and restricted airspace by the military both from ground level and from the air and sea were discussed by Gallagher during an interview for the Pat McAfee Show. His suggestion is either that the objects are the result of an enemy nation's technology or objects of extraterrestrial origin. There is also a third option, which he described as extremely interesting despite the lack of sufficient data. According to Gallagher, the third option would be that UFOs are not aliens, but objects from other dimensions, interdimensional craft, or even that UFOs are nothing more than humans from the future who have traveled back in time. The congressman continued elaborating his view on UFOs by saying that if we go back 200 years in time, we would come to a time where we do not have cars, we don't have the internet, we don't have good firearms. In its place, we have technology that today we would consider primitive. You guys can't bend space-time? That's something we learned 50 or 100 years ago. Gallagher revealed that although he was not a technologist, he knows that right now, we already possess technologies that can technically teleport something called neutrinos. We also have technology that proves that subatomic particles can move faster than the speed of light. Einstein himself told us that time travel is theoretically possible. In this way, the U.S. congressman sees the idea of humans from the future being the UFOs we are witnessing as a third hypothesis. It is possible that people of the future, meaning us, have figured out how to bend space-time, and what we are seeing is nothing other than our technology coming back in time. This is something Gallagher called the Terminator hypothesis. It is noteworthy that Gallagher is not the only one who considers this hypothesis to be one of the most probable. However, he clarifies that he does not exclude that any of the others, such as the extraterrestrial one, is the correct one either. If we're going to investigate this seriously, we have to be open to all possibilities and follow the evidence wherever it leads, he concluded in the interview. It is fascinating to see how rapidly UFOs have become such an accepted subject of debate. 10 years ago, UFOs were nothing other than a conspiracy theory. Although governments did investigate the phenomenon back then, UFOs were not something openly discussed in society with such liberty and acceptance. Not only are people no longer afraid to speak out about UFOs, but scientists have also taken an interest in the phenomenon. For example, astronomers like Professor Avi Loeb lead the scientific race to explore UFOs, WAPs and their origin. It was Loeb who had no problems in suggesting a few years back that Oumuamua, the first interstellar object detected traveling through our solar system, was of artificial, extraterrestrial nature. UFOs have never been so popular. It is only a matter of time before the subject explodes completely and evidence on UFOs that have been kept away from society comes to light, perhaps even changing the way we look at UFOs.